So, you've heard it's super easy to sell your home without an agent right now, and you're wondering if that's a good idea. Well, maybe. And in this video, I'll tackle how to handle for sale by owner homes in Madison, Mississippi, and what the benefits of hiring a real estate agent are. Everyone knows we're in a seller's market, but what does that actually mean? Well, long story short, it means there's a supply and demand imbalance. There are more buyers than sellers. And the buyers I'm working with right now have heard me preach. If you want to get that house that you get emailed every morning at 7 a.m. on my listing alerts, we have to go see it the same day. We cannot wait until the weekend or sometimes even that night. But let's say you're checking out one of those third-party apps that shows homes that are for sale by owner, and you're already working with an agent. What should you do? I tell my buyers, just send me the address and let me call the seller. I'll call them and ask if they are okay working with a buyer's agent. 9 times out of 10, they are okay with it. And then even if they aren't, I'll tell my buyer that. Most buyers are not okay going into the largest purchase of their life without representation. And now I'm going to get on my soapbox for a minute why you shouldn't buy a home without an agent. And there are 3 big reasons why you need an agent on your side when buying. Number 1, your agent acts as the middleman, woman, throughout the entire closing process. Your agent negotiates on your behalf, which can be awkward and difficult when times get tough. And it's not just agreeing on the price. There are 2 other crucial steps after you're under contract that you'll need to negotiate again. That's the home inspection phase and the appraisal phase. After you get that inspection and that long list of repairs that need to be done, now what? Well, that's where a good seasoned agent can help. Most of us have a list of contractors that can give us a price to fix the issues on the list. I like to usually make a spreadsheet. Remember, this is where being an accountant for years before I became a real estate broker helps, so that you and the seller know how much money we're talking about before we can negotiate. Because how else would you know how to negotiate if you don't know the cost of these things? So letting your agent be the middleman and sometimes the bad guy keeps the transaction moving forward. I can explain to the seller why the items you requested need to be fixed. And then the second thing is what happens when a house doesn't appraise. Again, this is where an experienced agent can help. A lot of people listing their houses don't understand how to price it. And if you're getting a loan for the house and it doesn't appraise, and that's when you, the buyer, must pony up the cash to make that difference, assuming you still want the house and assuming appraisal was a contingency. And if you have a good agent on your side, they already pulled the closed comparables and made sure that you made an offer in the first place that we feel confident is going to appraise. But if it doesn't, your agent can help. And here's another hint that a lot of you might not know. Did you ever notice that in Mississippi, you can't see what a house actually sold for on those third-party apps? That's because Mississippi is a non-disclosure state. We are one of 12 states that don't disclose the closed price to the public. So the only ones that have access to that information are agents and appraisers with access to the MLS. So I can show the sellers what other homes in the neighborhood sold for. And remember, it doesn't matter what people are asking for their home. Anyone can ask anything they want. We only care about what someone actually paid for it. And we agents are experts in our area. So if you're new to an area, you especially need the help of an agent. We can help answer questions about the neighborhood, the HOA, taxes, expansive clay, schools, insurance, the list goes on and on. I like to try to get to know my buyers so that I know what areas they will like and which ones they won't. And then I try to match them to areas that I know will fit a lot of most of their needs. You'll waste a lot of time trying to figure this out on your own if you're not working with an agent from the start. And finally, number 3, you might miss something crucial during the contract process. Unless you bought many homes in your lifetime, there's going to be things to be on the lookout for when buying. And a good agent can help you spot the things in the house that need attention. Most buyers are so fixated on those shiny objects when they walk through a home, looking at all the things they like, while a good agent is looking at the crucial things like signs of foundation problems, plumbing problems, and other things that are costly to fix, like the roof. So many inexperienced buyers forget to look at that. I'm in there like, look, 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 look. Have you priced a roof lately? Let me tell you, they're expensive. There are things along the way that also will involve lots of paperwork and financial transactions that your agent can help you with to make sure those things don't get overlooked. The real estate contract itself is jam-packed full of things that must be done by one party or the other, and your agent will help you keep those things on track so that nothing gets missed. A typical home purchased with a mortgage in today's world takes about 45 days from contract day to closing days. And there's a lot of things in there during that time that need to be done. So relax and let your agent do the work for you. Okay, so now what about the seller? Should they list their home for sale by owner? Well, maybe, actually. It can be very tempting in the seller's market for the homeowner to want to save money on commissions. And I totally get that. Because since it's usually the seller that pays the agent's commission, it could actually make a lot of sense. I'll give you a few things to consider first. So as the seller, you will have to do all of the work arranging showings, which is easy if you're home most of the day, actually. You'll just need to try to remember to keep your cool during the negotiating process because you don't have that middleman, and help navigate the repair phase. And don't forget, you still need to make sure you're abiding by local laws. Just because you don't have an agent working for you doesn't mean you get to skip the home sale disclosure process. You still have to let the buyers know of any material defects with the home. And keep in mind, you might have a buyer's agent call you for permission to show their home. Don't be too quick to turn the buyer's agent away. Many buyers, for all of the other reasons I've already mentioned, don't feel comfortable without representation. And remember, as the seller, you get to decide how much you want to pay the agent. So talk to their agent and decide on a percentage or maybe a fixed amount and write that into the contract. You'll likely have a smoother transaction if there's a real estate agent working in the transaction. Another thing to consider when for selling by owner is that you don't have access to the comps, especially in a Mississippi non-disclosure state. So you might actually be leaving money on the table. Many homes today are selling for over asking. So let's say your next door neighbor has the exact same house as you and they're asking $300,000. Without the help of a real estate agent knowing what it actually sold for, you decide to go ahead and list your home for $300,000 as well. And if their home is like a lot of the ones in this crazy market, it probably sold for $10,000 to $20,000 over asking, which could have paid for your buyer's agent fee and still netted you several $1,000s more. There's been many studies done showing that for sale by owner homes typically sell for less than homes on the MLS. Part of that reason is because FSBOs attract people who are tempted to lowball because they know you don't have an agent. This happens more in a buyer's market, of course, but it should go without saying that if you want to sell your home more quickly, allowing a real estate agent that already has a network built in with other agents and the use of the MLS, there's no quicker way to get your home in front of buyers. So if you want to check inventory quickly, you can go to my website, www.taylorgroupms.com. It's updated to our local MLS every 10 minutes. And I tell a lot of people, sign up for the daily email updates. You'll get an email every morning that shows homes that are for sale and the ones that are pending. Click on that link to the pending ones. It'll show you how fast. There's a DOM counter, days on market, and it'll show you how fast they're going under contract. And therefore, you can back into which homes are actually sitting on the market and can help figure out what the right price is for homes that are comparable to yours. Because after all, a home that's overpriced is the biggest mistake most homeowners make. So that's all I have today for sale by owners, aka FSBOs. See you on the next video.